Shulchan Aruch says that if a child dies before 8 days old, he should have circumcision, so that the Jewish name should be given to the child, so that he should have heavenly mercy, and that he should live at the resurrection of the dead. But a Jew is not allowed to circumcise a non-Jew, even if it's not on Shabbos, if it's not for the sake of conversion into Judaism. Levush says that the reason that the Jew is not allowed to circumcise a non-Jew is that he is not allowed to place a holy covenant, a stamp of a holy covenant on the body of a non-Jew. And therefore, even if a Jew would get paid, he would not be able to circumcise a non-Jew. Shach argues and says, no, the reason that one is not allowed to circumcise a non-Jew is he's not allowed to do a medical treatment for a non-Jew who serves idol worship. And therefore, we do not elevate an idol worshiper, we do not take him out of danger, and we do not put him into danger. And therefore, Shach says that if a Jew would be doing a medical procedure and he would get paid for doing a medical procedure, then there would be no problem as long as there is no intention for ritual circumcision. Tshuvas Milz Doka says that if we see that there is no intention for a medical procedure, then even if a Jew gets paid, it is forbidden to do a circumcision on a non-Jew because of prohibition to place a holy covenant on the body of a non-Jew. Tshuvas Milz Doka gives another reason, that just like by talis, we would not sell it to a non-Jew because of the concern that a non-Jew would pretend to be a Jew and put a Jew in danger. The same by circumcision, just like Yosef showed his circumcision to his brothers, we're concerned that a non-Jew would pretend to be a Jew and put a Jew in danger. However, if circumcision was done as a medical procedure, we do not have such a concern. Shagazari has a question. If Arabs who have a tradition to circumcise themselves after 13 years old, if there is an obligation for a Jew to circumcise them, or if there is a permission even for a Jew to circumcise them. Shagazari says, from Rambam, that Bnei Keturah, the children of Keturah, who descended from Abraham, after Abraham had Ishmael, had Yitzchak, he later on had descendants from Keturah, who were also obligated to have circumcision because they are descendants of Abraham. And because the descendants of Keturah and Abraham have intermarried with Ishmaelim, therefore now it is permitted, and it's a mitzvah, according to Rambam, to circumcise Muslims and Arabs. However, the opinion of Rashi is different, that the obligation of circumcision applied only to the first generation, only to the children of Keturah, and not to the grandchildren of Keturah. It applied only to the 6 sons of Keturah. Therefore, there is no obligation now to circumcise descendants of Abraham from Keturah. And Shagazari concludes with the opinion of Rashi. And he also has a question on the Rambam, that even if, according to Rambam, the obligation of circumcision applies to all the descendants of Keturah, nevertheless, today there is no such a nation that are called descendants of Keturah, because the general Sancheriv already mixed all the nations together, and there is no unique nation that are descendants of Keturah. And therefore Muslims and Arabs would not have an obligation of circumcision, and therefore a Jew would not be allowed to do ritual circumcision on them. However, Noida B'Yehuda gives an answer to Shagazari's question on the Rambam. Shagazari said that the nations are now mixed, and there is a majority who are not obligated to have circumcision. It's only the children of Keturah that were obligated to have circumcision, but the majority of the nations are not obligated to have circumcision. And since now everybody is mixed, there is no obligation on anybody to have circumcision because we go after the majority. Says Noida B'Yehuda, the concept of majority applies only to the Jews and does not apply to the non-Jews. And we also see this from Prima Godim, who says in the case of Ever Menachai, which was mixed with a meat that is permissible for a non-Jew, and we do not know which piece is Ever Menachai, which one is forbidden, and which are permitted, and there is a majority of the permitted meat, says Prima Godim, by a non-Jew we do not go after the majority. And since that meat is not nullified, all the meat would be forbidden for a non-Jew. Yes, by the case of Ammoni, Moavi, who have converted to Judaism, and now want to marry a woman whose mother is Jewish, even though the Torah prohibits a convert from Ammon, from Moab, to marry a woman whose mother is Jewish for all generations, nevertheless, since Sancheriv mixed all the nations, and there is no nation now that's Moab or Ammon, it would go by the majority because they have converted to Judaism and they're now Jews. So as far as them, they can go after the majority. But as far as circumcision, we would not say that the descendants of Keturah have mixed in the majority and the obligation of circumcision no longer applies to them. That we would not say. And therefore, according to Noida B'Yehuda in the Rambam, a Jew would be allowed to circumcise a Muslim and an Arab and possibly have a mitzvah.